Dear students of class 12th, as you know, we are reading a poem from the text Flamingo titled An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, page 92-93. In today's class, we'll be discussing from stanza number 3. Now let's start. Dear students, in the first two stanzas, the poet describes the children who study in an elementary school which is set up in a slum area. The poet says that the faces of children are dull and without any energy. They are not full of energy like other kids of their age. These children are compared to unwanted weed. Here the writer wants to say that these children seems to be unwanted like the unwanted weeds which grow on their own in the fields. Their hair is not neatly done, it falls on their pale faces as if they have been torn apart. The children are untidy, they haven't combed their hair. Then he describes a tall girl who seems to be burdened by poverty. Her head is bent, maybe because of tiredness or shame. There is another boy who is so weak and thin that he has been compared to a sheet of paper. The boy's eyes reflect greed and he wants to achieve everything. Then he describes another student who is physically disabled. The poet says that the boy is unlucky because he inherited a disease from his father due to which he has a deformed body. Instead of getting any facility from his father, he has received a disease in heritage. This disabled boy is sitting on his bench and is reciting his lesson. At the back of the class, in dim, dark area, was a small boy who was not visible to the poet as he was sitting in darkness. The poet could see his eyes, which were bright and full of a dream. He was not paying attention to the class. It seems as if he was rather interested in playing the squirrels in the tree house. Dear students, the poet also describes the walls of the school in the second stanza. The poet describes the walls of the school. They are cream in color like the color of sour cream. This means that the walls are not clean. They have not been painted recently. The walls are covered with different charts and images that must have been donated by different people. There is a picture of Shakespeare on the wall. His head, which is bald, looks like a rising sun at the horizon. At the time of daybreak, the sun is rising at the horizon and is semicircular like a dome shape. It seems to be behind all the cities. There is a picture of the famous Tyrolese Valley. There is a picture of the famous Tyrolese Valley which has beautiful flowers. There is the image of a map which helps us all in its own way. But for these children, the map of the world is irrelevant because the slum where they live is different from what is shown in the map. Dear students, their world is only what they see out of the window of the classroom, the slum. Their future is full of darkness. Their future is compared to a narrow sheet, which means that there is no wide scope available for their future growth. These children are far away from the radiant light of knowledge and education. Now, let us start stanza number 3. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example. This is text of the poem. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map of a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes, from fog to endless night, on their slag heap these children, wear sickness papered through by boons and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space are foggy Slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as dome. Dear students, there are some words, there is the meaning of some words which I have written in the next page. One word is wicked. Wicked means evil. Another word is tempted. Tempted. Tempted means persuade. Wicked means evil. Tempted means persuade. Slyly. Slyly. Another word is slyly. Slyly means trickily. Now cramped. Cramped. Cramped is another word. It means confined. Slag means weak. Mended means repaired. Mended means repaired. Blot means to mark with a spot. To mark with a spot. Doom means disaster. Wicked means evil. Tempted means persuade. Slyly means trickily. Cramped means confined. Slag means weak. Mended means repaired. Blot means to mark with a spot. Doom means disaster. Now let's explain the second stanza. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes, from fogged endless night on their slag heap. These children wear sickness peeped through by boons and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space are foggy Slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as dome. Dear students, the picture, the poet, further says that these children living in the slum area have faced so many hardships that they feel every other person to be their enemy, right? The poet further says that these children living in the Slum area have faced so many hardships that they feel every other person to be their enemy. For them, Shakespeare is an evil man. They don't find the map to be a good thing, right? These children don't find the map to be a good thing for them. They were never liked or loved by anyone. The poet says that these children were never liked or loved by anyone. Therefore, they hate almost everyone. Their desire of being loved by others forces them to steal. Right? Therefore, they hate almost everyone. Their desire of being loved by others forces them to steal. They live in small homes and they have started adjusting to it. Right? That says that they do not find the map to be a good thing because they were never liked or loved by anyone. Therefore, they hate almost everyone. Their desire of being loved by others forces them to steal. They live in small homes and they have started adjusting to it. Their life is going towards an endless night. Their life is going towards an endless night. This means that their future is full of darkness. These kids are so thin that one can easily see their bones through the thin layer of skin, right? Here poet says that these these children are so thin. Their body is so thin that one can easily see their bones through their thin layer of skin. Their skin is like the thin layer of cloth, and the bones beneath are visible through the skin. These kids suffer from malnutrition, right? They wear spectacles which are made of steel. Here, poet says that these kids, these poor children, they wear spectacles which are made of steel. They are cheap and very uncomfortable because these spectacles are cheap, and that's why they wear these spectacles, but they are very uncomfortable. Even the lenses in the spectacles are repaired. Even the lenses in these spectacles are repaired. The spectacles look like stones which have been repaired with pieces of glass sticking out of them. Here the poet tries to explain that these kids have to face so many hardships in their lives. As these slums are getting bigger, they will destroy the future of these children, and it is very difficult for such kids to escape from them. Now the metaphor used here are their homes are very small like holes. Simile, here is their repaired spectacles, and alliteration यहाँ पे जो small है that is use of f sound, that is from fog, right? Here metaphor जो small हो है यहाँ पे मैंने लिखा है metaphor their homes are very small like holes, cramped holes. metaphor इस्तेमाल हुआ है और simile यहाँ literary device इस्तेमाल हुए हैं, and simile यहाँ पे जो इस्तेमाल हुआ है that is their repaired spectacles like bottle bits on stones, and the alliteration here used is that is use of f sound, that is from fog. Now last stanza. Unless governor inspector visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books the white and green leaves open. History theirs whose language is the sun. Let me read it again. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books. So into books the white and green leaves open. History there whose language is the sun. History theirs whose language is the sun. Here are some difficult words. Let me tell you the meaning of those words. Here one word is that is catacomb. Catacomb means tomb. Cemetery. Azure means deep below. Azure means deep below. Now, dear students, in this last stanza, the poet says that the government should take notice of the problems being faced by these kids, right? The poet says that the government should take notice of the problems being faced by these kids. He urges them to change the life of these kids and make the world map a reality for them. There is a need to break the restrictions which are put on them due to poverty and lack of resources. He wants the governor and public to help these kids in achieving their dreams, as this will take them away from fogged azure sky. The poet here wants to say that in this way the kids can be taken away from the darkness of their present to a bright future. He wants these kids to experience the science and the beauty of nature, as this will lead to a desire of gaining knowledge. They will then go through the white and green leaves. Here white leaves depict books and the green leaves depict nature. Right here white leaves depict books and green leaves depict nature. This will then result in their progress and they will be able to paint a bright future for themselves. Here the literary devices which have been used here, that is metaphor. metaphor यहाँ पे इस्तेमाल हुआ है. Metaphor has been used here. That is books and nature are expressed in the form of white and green leaves. The white green leaves open. Here books and nature are expressed in form of white and green leaves. And anaphora, that is use of repeated words in two consecutive lines. That is run azure and run naked. Run azure and run naked. So this is anaphora. Thank you very much.